Hello everyone, what's happening? This is Forgo, and today I want to do a little bit more damage comparing between the new Summer Days uniform and the Cable and Deadpool uniform. But before we get into that, when I made that video, something I didn't mention was the fact that this damn uniform costs 1,750 crystals. That's an absolute abomination for Netmarble to do something like that to everybody. I actually thought, maybe I was being naive. I guess I was being naive. That, I bought the uniform immediately thinking that it was going to go on sale, thinking that maybe it was a typo. This is something I should have mentioned in the last video, but I didn't because I just got caught up in what was going on between talking about it Enchantress and Cable. However, it has been a full day, and I've checked the forums and talked to some other people that haven't bought the uniform, and it's still for 1,750 crystals. So what I would say to everybody is don't buy it. For one thing, it's not going to make much difference in the damage. Unless you're going to put a CTP of Rage in this guy, it's not going to make much difference. The damage is virtually almost the same. It's a little bit better in this uniform, but it's not by a massive margin. It's definitely not worth no 1,750 crystals. I think it's absolutely crappy of Netmarble to first of all, make everybody buy the Enchantress uniform. You got to make purchases to get her uniform, which I don't have a problem with to a point. But then on top of that, you charge full price for a native tier 2's uniform. Why in the hell didn't they have it on sale? They've always had sales before. Why change the routines and the habits that they've done previously? It doesn't work. It's really a bunch of crap, guys. It's not cool at all. In fact, in hindsight, I wish I wouldn't have bought it. Yeah, as a content creator, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I can show you all, the damage comparisons and talk about it. But at the same time, I wish I wouldn't have bought it. Because honestly, after seeing the damage difference, I don't even think it's worth it to begin with. Unless you're going to play an ABX, unless you're going to put a CTP of Rage on the guy. If you're going to do that, yeah, I would say it's worth it. As far as paying 1,750 crystals, that's completely up to you. Personally, I think that's outrageous, especially compared to what they've done in the past. Now, let's talk about a couple things that I did wrong. Well, something I did wrong in the last video. So in the last video, whenever I was doing the rotation with Cable, I was trying to do the same rotation as I did with the Cable and Deadpool uniform. I was trying to hit the 4, and then 3, 2, 5. There, we didn't hit the 2, but you get my drift. 4, 3, 2, 5. Well, I've changed the rotation, guys. There's definitely a much better rotation. Now, when I was testing this and practicing, I was hitting the 3 and then the 4, and you see there's my damage accumulation. I canceled that 3 pretty damn quick and still got the damage accumulation. However, you need to let it play just for a moment. So when you don't. So you want to let him raise his arm up so you're getting your damage accumulation here. See how it takes a little bit? You got to let it play just a little bit. So when he raises his arm, boom, right there. Then what you want to do is you want to hit the 4 and then cancel the 2, 5. That's how I'm doing it. Some people, what they're doing is they're hitting the 3, then the 2, then the 5, the 4, 5. This is the way that I'm doing it. I'm just going 3, 4, 2, 5. And it seems like I can keep the proc where it belongs for the most part. We'll make sure that we get the damage accumulation every single time in this video. But you're going to see the outcome is going to be the same as it was in the last video. And yeah, having damage accumulation based on how much damage you deal, in many ways, is a lot better than damage taken. It is. You don't have to worry about taking damage. That is nice. Is it worth 1,750 crystals? I don't know about all that. Maybe to some people will be. The all defense down is the exact same. If they'd made this all defense down start off at like 10% and increased it to 60% or 65%, I would have said, yeah, maybe it'd been worth it, because that little bit would have made a massive difference in the amount of damage he does. If they would have gave him an attack buff on his 5th skill. What they did is they just put on his uniform, they just gave him some critical damage. They gave him some critical damage and an extra 5% chain hit damage. This is the reason I say a rage would be better. He's going to be easier to max out his stats, and that's why. This really feels like a specific cash grab for ABX players that just want to try to get closer to maxing out their scores with Cable. That's exactly what this feels like. I think the uniform looks amazing. I mean, I love the uniform. It looks cool. It looks cool. Look at the way the glare glistens off his arm and chest. It's beautiful. Even off his glasses. I mean, the detail in it. I mean, it's a dope looking uniform. It's not a whole lot different than his Cable and Deadpool uniform. It just isn't. The damage accumulation is the biggest difference, and the skill rotation is a little bit different as well. So we're going to go into World Boss here, and I've actually pre-recorded a couple videos to try to get some decent runs for you guys, because we are playing with a proc. We're going to be taking on stage 70, and this is the team I'm going to be using. We're just going to use Nick Fury. It doesn't really matter, guys, but we're going to get the 50% increase of all attack and 55% damage to supervillains. It doesn't matter. We're not trying to do a clear here. We just want to do a damage comparison, and we're going to use Wasp for her debuff. That way the poison isn't doing damage to us while that debuff removal is going on, and that way the tornadoes don't entangle us. It's just a lot easier to play, plus the bleed won't get a hold of us as well. As far as strikers, we're just going to use anti-venom. We're not going to use any other strikers to skew the damage in any way. Now, as always, when you're doing these damage comparisons, you want to look at the run. You want to see how often I'm landing the proc. With Call, he does cleanse the all defense down, and that can make a difference as well as to how much damage you're doing. So these are all things to take in consideration when you're watching this, but I've tried this over and over and over, and the outcomes are pretty much the same almost every single time as what you're going to see. So let's get into them pre-recorded videos and let's check it out. So I have the Cable Deadpool uniform equipped, and we'll see what I do. We're going to do the 4-3-2-5 rotation for this. All right, here we go. I'm not going to use any attack buffs from Nick Fury. And there I actually missed the proc. There's one proc missed right there. Okay, that looked pretty decent. That wasn't too bad. Okay, run around. And every time Call does the orange there, that's when he's cleansing. There I missed my 2 skills, so we didn't get the crit rate buff, which is going to help do more critical hits, therefore doing more damage. There, we got it. And we're going to run both of these runs for 2 minutes. Okay, here we go. All right. There, he was cleansing the all defense down, but I'm going to run the run with the new uniform, the Summer Days uniform, the exact same way. We're just going to go balls to the wall, keep running through the rotations. And the cooldowns are the same for both these uniforms. Come on, here we go. Let's do it. I really wish they would have gave him more all defense down so he'd been even better in World Boss. I mean, he was already strong, but if they're going to make you pay this amount of crystals for a freaking uniform, man, they need to make it worth it. They need to make it worth it. I'm not, honestly, guys, I'm not very incentivized to buy it, even though I already did. Come on, here we go. Missed the 2 again there. I'm keeping the proc pretty much where it belongs for the most part. We did miss it a couple times so far. But I'm hitting the 2, but we're just not quite getting it. I think I'm hitting it too fast. Sometimes my fingers like to go a little quick. That's what happened in that last video. I was canceling that damage accumulation just a little too fast. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pause it. So you can see right here that we are down to the 13th bar in 2 minutes. Now let's see what happens when we equip the Summer Day uniform. Now we have the Summer Day uniform equipped. We got down to just below the 13th bar in 2 minutes. Let's see what we do here. Okay, we're going to 3, then we're going to hit the 4, then 2, 5. Proc came on the 5th skill. Beautiful. Got our all defense down. Hell yeah. And it does look like he does a little bit more damage, but it's just not much. It just isn't much. Even over a 5-minute run, it won't be that much. That's why we're doing this for 2 minutes instead of just doing one rotation like what we did against Thanos. Because I think this gives a more accurate reading of the difference in the power scales between the two uniforms. There we go. That was good. So far, so good with this uniform. I will say one thing about the uniform I do like. Well, there's a couple things I like, but it's easier to keep the proc where it belongs. If you're playing with a damage proc, it is easier to keep it where it belongs. It is. You know, you really can kind of hold out on that 3 and 5 a little bit. Take your time with your rotation a little bit. It's not bad at all. I will say that that is something that's really nice about it. I've mentioned what I think about ease of play when it comes to characters. A lot of times that goes a long way for a lot of players out there. Goes a long way for me, but again, you know, since Netmarble wants to be greedy, they don't want to drop the price of the uniform. No, I don't. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Come on. Here we go. I mean, you can see, look at the damage, guys. Now, we're almost down to the 13th bar, right? He's doing more damage, right? We just did in 1:30 what we did in actually a little bit more in 1:30 than what we did in 2 minutes with the other uniform. So yes, it is stronger. And with the rage, it's going to shine even more because you're going to get that 30% critical damage. But is it massive? I mean, is it some massive upgrade? No, it's not. And there we took a shot from the purple there. It's not. It's a small upgrade. So here we're going to pause it. So he did, you know, a little over a full bar with this uniform in 2 minutes, which means in, you know, 5 minutes he's going to do, you know, 2, 3, maybe 4 bars more, maybe a little bit more depending on your runs. And that's, I mean, it's better, but is it really good? I don't think so. It's kind of lacking in my opinion. I just don't think it's good enough, especially for that price tag. So again, my feelings are the exact same on this uniform as they were in my previous video. Unless you're ABX focused and you're going to put a CTP of Rage on this guy, that's the only way I would buy it. And even then, knowing that it's 1,750 crystals, I would probably reconsider it just to, you know, give Netmarble a little something, something in return, which is nothing, because they're not giving us nothing either. You know, they want us to buy the Enchantress uniform with outright money, which I don't really have a major problem with. I don't like it because I really would like to see all players be able to get it. However, it isn't a must-needed uniform. But then, of course, the ABX uniform, they charge full frickin' price, and that's why I think it's a total cash grab. So let me know how you're all feeling about Cable, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.